Welcome to Daily Dose of Aramaic Grammar Lessons. Today this is Lesson 5. We're going to be talking about question sentences and further information about question sentences in Biblical Aramaic can be found in Biblical Aramaic for Biblical Interpreters, pages 28 to 31. Let's get started. What are the types of questions we encounter in the Aramaic parts of the Bible? I call them yes or no questions, rhetorical questions, and information-seeking questions. So let's delve into these three kinds of questions. First, the yes or no question. This is a kind of question for which the assumed logical answer is yes or no. Now, an alternative title for this kind of question is polar questions, but just to avoid the implication that this might have something to do with the polar ice caps, this is why I call them yes or no questions. So in form, the assumed answer to one of these kind of questions is yes or no. So this is, do you like the color blue? It's a yes or no kind of response. All right. So in Daniel 6:21, we see this question, was he able to deliver you from the lions? The king has run to the den and is shouting in to Daniel, and this is his question. So yes or no is what he wants to know in that moment. And the signal for a yes or no question is the hey and hatef patach prefix. It's obviously attached to the first word of the yes or no question, and we see it here in Daniel 6:21. Now, obviously, because the hatef patach is a vowel, that vowel can change based on the word to which that prefix attaches, as we see in this example. Okay, simple enough, right? Rhetorical questions are questions in form, but are statements in nature. So how are you going to know that you're looking at a rhetorical question? Well, one key is how they're introduced. So here in Daniel 4:27, we see the question, is not this Babylon the Great? And its first word is hala. This is the yes or no question marker, followed by the negative particle la, hala, put together. And it just so happens that all of the questions that begin with this word in Aramaic scripture happen to be rhetorical. These are not all the rhetorical questions, but this happens to be a reliable means of knowing that you're looking at a rhetorical question. So in Daniel 4:27, isn't this Babylon the Great? That is actually a rhetorical question in context in which there's an assertion. This indeed is Babylon the Great. And not every rhetorical question begins with hala. Now, information-seeking questions are questions that, at least in form, seek an answer other than yes or no. So an information-seeking question might be, what is your favorite color? And obviously answering yes doesn't make any sense for that question. And then so an answer would be something like blue, and that's that piece of new information that the question is seeking. So here's an example of an information-seeking question in form. Ezra 4:22, why should damage grow to the hurt of the king? And this is because we have this question word, lama, at the beginning. Now at this point, it's important to say not all information-seeking questions in form truly seek information. It's just a rhetorical question in the guise of an information-seeking question. So we really see that yes or no, rhetorical, and information-seeking questions, these categories can overlap in the middle with rhetorical questions, meaning not a true yes or no question, not really seeking that answer, and in this case of information-seeking questions, not really seeking the information that would be implied as a logical answer to the question. And here are the question words we would encounter in information-seeking questions: man, ma, and lama, who, what, why. And it's possible for these words to appear in sentences that are actually not questions in a more pronoun sense. Let me show you. Daniel 3:11, and whoever does not fall down and worship shall be cast into a burning fiery furnace. So here's the who word serving the function of a pronoun whoever in this particular case. So this this is very much like Hebrew, where a question word need not actually appear in a question. And that's really it for question sentences. Much in common with the instincts that we've developed from biblical Hebrew study, but of course specific to the forms of Aramaic. So I look forward to covering the next lesson, Lesson 6, with you soon.